Welcome back to Historical Figurespedia. As we journey through history, let's explore the lives of 10 of the most powerful kings who ever ruled. These men, born often in privilege, sometimes in obscurity, inherited a mantle of leadership that shaped the destiny of millions. From the sun-drenched plains of ancient Macedon to the windswept steppes of Mongolia, we will trace their footsteps. From their incredible achievements to the challenges they faced, these leaders left an indelible mark on the world. They were conquerors, reformers, builders, and sometimes destroyers. Their ambition knew no bounds. Their will reshaped the map of the world. But at what cost? And how did their reign shape the world we know today? Join me as we delve into the lives and times of these remarkable figures, examining their triumphs and their failures, their moments of brilliance and their fatal flaws. This is the story of power, a story as old as civilization itself. Our journey begins in the rugged lands of Macedon, where a young prince named Alexander was tutored by the great philosopher Aristotle himself. Little did anyone know that this boy would grow to conquer one of the largest empires the world had ever seen. Alexander's military genius was evident from a young age. His campaigns, swift and decisive, were characterized by bold maneuvers and a mastery of both cavalry and infantry tactics. His victory at the Battle of Gaugamela against the seemingly invincible Persian king Darius III remains a masterpiece of military strategy. But Alexander's ambition was not merely territorial. He sought to create a new world order, one where Greek culture and learning flourished. As he marched eastward, he founded cities, established libraries, and encouraged the spread of Greek language and thought. This fusion of Greek and Eastern cultures became known as Hellenism, leaving an indelible mark on art, architecture, and philosophy for centuries to come. From the shores of the Aegean to the banks of the Indus River, Alexander's empire stretched across continents. Yet this extraordinary life was tragically cut short. At the age of 32, at the height of his power, Alexander succumbed to illness in Babylon. His empire, vast and diverse, had proved difficult to hold together. It fractured into competing kingdoms ruled by his generals. But the legacy of Alexander the Great, the boy who conquered much of the known world, would echo through the ages. From the cradle of Western civilization, we travel eastward to the vast steppes of Mongolia, a land of fierce horsemen and unforgiving winters. Here, a young Temujin, later to be known as Genghis Khan, rose from obscurity to unite the warring Mongol tribes. His early life was marked by hardship and betrayal. Orphaned at a young age, he endured imprisonment and fought constantly for survival. Yet these experiences forged in him an iron will and a keen understanding of both loyalty and strategy. Genghis Khan's true genius lay in his ability to unite the disparate Mongol tribes under his banner. He replaced traditional blood feuds with a strict code of law and loyalty, creating a formidable fighting force bound by discipline and a shared purpose. His Mongol hordes, mounted on hardy steeds and armed with composite bows, swept across Asia with a speed and ferocity rarely seen before. They conquered vast territories, from China in the east to Persia in the west, establishing the largest contiguous land empire in history. Genghis Khan was not just a conqueror, he was also a shrewd administrator. He established trade routes, promoted religious tolerance within his empire, and instituted a system of meritocracy that rewarded competence over lineage. His reign marked a turning point in world history, connecting East and West and leaving an enduring legacy on the Eurasian continent. Our journey now takes us to the Indian subcontinent, a land steeped in ancient wisdom and spiritual traditions. Here, a powerful emperor named Ashoka, the third ruler of the Mauryan dynasty, underwent a profound transformation that would forever alter his destiny and the course of his empire. Ashoka's early reign was marked by ruthless ambition. He expanded his empire through military conquest, culminating in the bloody Kalinga War. The human cost of this victory, however, deeply affected Ashoka. Legend has it that the sight of the battlefield, littered with corpses and echoing with the cries of the dying, filled him with remorse. This pivotal moment led Ashoka to renounce violence and embrace the teachings of Buddhism. He dedicated the rest of his life to promoting peace, non-violence, and social welfare. His edicts, inscribed on pillars and rocks throughout his empire, preached compassion, tolerance, and respect for all living beings. Ashoka built hospitals for both people and animals, planted trees for shade and sustenance, and encouraged education and moral conduct. He sent Buddhist missionaries far and wide, spreading the message of peace and compassion from Southeast Asia to the Mediterranean. Ashoka's reign marked a golden age in Indian history. His legacy as a benevolent ruler who championed peace and justice continues to inspire people around the world. He stands as a testament to the transformative power of compassion and the possibility of enlightened leadership. Our journey takes us now to the heart of the Roman Republic, a civilization built on military prowess, political intrigue, and the ambition of powerful men. Here, amidst the bustling streets and grand monuments of Rome, rose a figure whose name would become synonymous with power itself, Gaius Julius Caesar. Caesar's rise to prominence was not without its challenges. He navigated the treacherous waters of Roman politics with cunning and charisma, forming alliances, outmaneuvering rivals, and winning the adoration of the people through his military triumphs and populist reforms. His campaigns in Gaul, recounted in his own memoirs, expanded Rome's dominion to the English Channel, showcasing his military brilliance and ruthless efficiency. Caesar's legions were renowned for their discipline, their ability to construct bridges and siege works with astonishing speed, and their unwavering loyalty to their commander. However, Caesar's growing power and popularity aroused the suspicion and envy of his political enemies. Fearing that he aspired to become king, a title anathema to the Roman Republic, a group of senators led by Brutus and Cassius assassinated Caesar on the Ides of March 15, 44 BC. This act, intended to save the Republic, ironically hastened its demise. The Roman world, accustomed to Caesar's firm hand, descended into civil war. Ultimately, Caesar's adopted son, Octavian, later known as Augustus, would emerge victorious, transforming Rome from a republic into an empire. Caesar's dream of absolute power, though tragically cut short, would shape the destiny of Rome and the Western world for centuries to come. From the ruins of the Roman Empire, we journey to the heart of medieval Europe, a time of fragmented kingdoms, constant warfare, and the rise of a new faith, Christianity. Here, a Frankish king named Charlemagne emerged from the shadows of history to forge a new empire, one that would lay the foundations for modern Europe. Charlemagne inherited a realm riven by conflict, but he possessed a vision of unity and a thirst for conquest. His reign was marked by relentless campaigns that expanded the Frankish kingdom to encompass much of modern-day France, Germany, Italy, and the Low Countries. A devout Christian, Charlemagne saw himself as a defender of the faith. He waged wars against the Saxons to his east, forcing their conversion to Christianity, and clashed with the Muslim Umayyad Caliphate in Spain, seeking to stem the tide of Islamic expansion. Charlemagne's ambition extended beyond mere conquest. He was a passionate advocate for education and learning, promoting a revival of classical scholarship and literature that became known as the Carolingian Renaissance. He established schools, attracted scholars to his court, and fostered the development of a standardized script that made learning more accessible. On Christmas Day in the year 800 AD, Charlemagne was crowned Emperor of the Romans by Pope Leo III in Rome. This momentous act, rich in symbolism and political significance, signaled the emergence of a new power in the West, one that sought to emulate the glory of the Roman Empire and establish a Christian realm united under a single emperor. Charlemagne's legacy as a warrior king, a pious Christian, and a patron of learning would earn him the title Father of Europe, his reign a pivotal chapter in the shaping of the continent's identity. Our journey now takes us to the tumultuous era of the French Revolution, a time when the old order was crumbling and a new spirit of liberty, equality, and fraternity swept across Europe. From this cauldron of revolution emerged a figure of unparalleled ambition and military genius, Napoleon Bonaparte. Born on the island of Corsica, Napoleon rose through the ranks of the French army with astonishing speed. His military campaigns, characterized by bold maneuvers, innovative tactics, and an uncanny ability to inspire his troops, became the stuff of legend. Napoleon's victories in Italy and Egypt cemented his reputation as a military prodigy. He returned to France a hero, seizing power in a coup d'état, and crowning himself Emperor of the French in 1804. Driven by boundless energy and an unshakable belief in his own destiny, Napoleon set out to reshape the map of Europe. His armies, marching under the banner of the French Republic and later the French Empire, clashed with the combined might of Europe's monarchies in a series of epic battles. From the snow-covered battlefields of Russia to the scorching plains of Egypt, Napoleon's legend grew with each victory. His reign was not merely one of military conquest, however. Napoleon was a skilled administrator, implementing legal reforms, codifying laws, and establishing a centralized bureaucracy that modernized the French state. His Napoleonic Code, with its emphasis on meritocracy and individual rights, would influence legal systems around the world. Yet Napoleon's ambition ultimately proved his undoing. His invasion of Russia in 1812, bogged down by a brutal winter and fierce resistance, turned the tide against him. Defeated by a coalition of European powers, Napoleon was exiled to the island of Elba in 1814. He would escape, return to France, and rally his supporters in a desperate bid to regain power, culminating in his final defeat at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. We journey now to the crossroads of East and West, to the bustling city of Constantinople, the jewel of the Byzantine Empire, now reborn as Istanbul, the capital of the burgeoning Ottoman Empire. Here, in the Topkapi Palace overlooking the shimmering waters of the Golden Horn, reigned a sultan whose name echoed far beyond the walls of his city, Suleiman the Magnificent. Suleiman inherited an empire already vast and powerful, stretching from the Balkans to the Persian Gulf. Yet he was determined to expand its borders even further, driven by a potent mix of religious zeal, strategic ambition, and a thirst for glory. His reign was a golden age for the Ottoman Empire, marked by military expansion, administrative reforms, and a flourishing of art, architecture, and literature. Suleiman's armies, led by skilled generals and equipped with the latest military technology, pushed the boundaries of the empire, conquering Belgrade, laying siege to Vienna, and challenging the Habsburg Empire in the heart of Europe. Suleiman was not simply a conqueror, however. He was a skilled administrator, a renowned lawgiver, and a patron of the arts. He reformed the Ottoman legal system, streamlined the bureaucracy, and commissioned magnificent mosques, bridges, and public buildings that transformed Istanbul into one of the most impressive cities in the world. Under his rule, the Ottoman Empire became a major naval power, its galleys controlling the Mediterranean Sea and challenging the dominance of Venice and Genoa. Suleiman's reign saw the flourishing of Ottoman culture, with poets, musicians, and artisans creating works of exquisite beauty and sophistication. Suleiman's long reign, lasting over 4 decades, left an indelible mark on the Ottoman Empire and the world beyond. He was known in the West as Suleiman the Magnificent, a testament to his wealth, power, and the splendor of his court. In the East, he was known as Suleiman the Lawgiver, his legal reforms shaping Ottoman society for centuries to come. Our journey takes us now to the ancient land of China, a civilization renowned for its wisdom, its inventions, and its enduring dynasties. Here in the 3rd century BC, a king emerged who would forever alter the course of Chinese history, Yingzheng, later known as Sher Huang, the first emperor of a unified China. Sher Huang inherited a kingdom embroiled in chaos, a land divided by warring states and plagued by constant strife. But he possessed a ruthless ambition, a keen intellect, and a vision of a unified China under his absolute rule. Through a series of cunning alliances, strategic marriages, and relentless military campaigns, he subdued his rivals one by one, crushing opposition and forging a new empire from the ashes of the warring states period. Sher Huang was not content with mere conquest, however. He was determined to create a strong, centralized state, one that would endure for millennia. He abolished feudalism, standardizing weights and measures, currency, and even the written script, forging a unified Chinese identity that transcended regional differences. His most ambitious project, however, was the construction of a monumental defensive barrier, a testament to both his ambition and his paranoia: the Great Wall of China. Built by conscripted laborers, many of whom perished during its construction, The Great Wall snaked across mountains and deserts, a physical manifestation of Huang's desire to protect his empire from barbarian invaders. Huang's reign was marked by both great achievements and ruthless brutality. He is remembered as a visionary leader who unified China, but also as a tyrant who burned books, buried scholars alive, and ruled through fear and intimidation. Our journey now takes us to the glittering court of 17th century France, a time of absolute monarchy, courtly intrigue, and artistic splendor. Here in the opulent palace of Versailles reigned a king who embodied the spirit of his age, Louis XIV, the Sun King. Louis XIV inherited the throne at the tender age of 5, but his reign, once he assumed personal rule, would stretch for an astonishing 72 years, the longest of any major European monarch. From the outset, Louis was determined to rule as an absolute monarch, answerable to no one but God himself. He believed in the divine right of kings, the notion that his authority to rule came directly from God, and he brooked no opposition to his will. To consolidate his power and project an image of grandeur, Louis XIV transformed a humble hunting lodge into the magnificent palace of Versailles, a sprawling edifice of marble mirrors and manicured gardens that became the envy of Europe. At Versailles, Louis XIV held court, surrounded by nobles, artists, and intellectuals, all vying for his favor. He controlled the nobility, transforming them from potential rivals into courtiers dependent on his patronage. He waged wars, expanded the borders of France, and promoted French culture and language as the epitome of refinement. Louis XIV's reign was a golden age for French art and literature. He was a patron of playwrights like Molière and Racine, composers like Lully and Charpentier, and painters like Lebrun and Rigaud. His reign saw the flourishing of French classical art, characterized by its grandeur, symmetry, and adherence to classical forms. Louis XIV's legacy is a complex one. He is remembered as the epitome of absolute monarchy, the Sun King who bathed France in glory and splendor. But his reign was also marked by costly wars, religious intolerance, and the suffering of the common people who bore the brunt of his ambitious projects and extravagant lifestyle. Our journey culminates in the vibrant land of India once more, this time in the 16th century, at the dawn of the Mughal Empire. Here, a young emperor named Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, better known as Akbar the Great, ascended the throne, destined to rule over one of the most powerful and prosperous empires in Indian history. Akbar inherited a realm still in its infancy, forged by the military prowess of his grandfather, Babur. But Akbar possessed a vision that extended far beyond mere conquest. He was a brilliant strategist, a shrewd diplomat, and a visionary leader who understood that true power lay not just in military might, but in the loyalty and prosperity of his subjects. Through a combination of military campaigns, strategic alliances, and shrewd diplomacy, Akbar expanded the Mughal Empire to encompass much of the Indian subcontinent. He subdued rebellious rulers, integrated Hindu kings into his administration, and established a centralized empire renowned for its efficient bureaucracy and its policy of religious tolerance. Akbar, though a devout Muslim himself, recognized that the Mughal Empire encompassed people of diverse faiths, including Hindus, Jains, Sikhs, and Christians. He abolished the jizya, a tax imposed on non-Muslims, promoted interfaith dialogue, and even incorporated elements of Hindu philosophy and ritual into his own court. His reign witnessed a flowering of Mughal art, architecture, and culture. Akbar commissioned magnificent forts, palaces, and mosques, blending Persian, Islamic, and Hindu architectural styles into a unique Mughal aesthetic. He patronized artists, musicians, and poets, creating a vibrant cultural milieu at his court. Akbar's legacy as a wise, tolerant, and visionary ruler has endured for centuries. He's remembered as Akbar the Great, a ruler who transcended religious boundaries, promoted peace and harmony, and laid the foundations for a golden age in Indian history. And so our journey through time and across continents comes to an end. We have walked in the footsteps of emperors and conquerors, witnessed the rise and fall of empires, and explored the lives of 10 of the most powerful kings in history. Their stories, though separated by centuries and cultures, share common threads: ambition, the allure of power, the weight of legacy. These kings not only shaped their own nations, but also left a lasting legacy on the world. Their decisions reverberated through time, influencing the course of history and shaping the world we live in today. Their stories serve as a reminder that power, while seductive and intoxicating, is a double-edged sword, capable of great good and terrible destruction. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories from the past. May their stories inspire us to learn from the past, to ponder the nature of power, and to strive to create a better future for all.